listening to the Paracasual Destiny podcast. Welcome to episode 56 of the Paracasual Destiny podcast. Greetings, Guardians, and thank you for joining us tonight. Welcome to the Casual Destiny player's place to relax and enjoy talking about the game from a casual player's perspective, for lack of a better phrasing. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are, on the YouTube live or afterwards on the archived audio podcast on the platform of your choice. I'm Soul Time. I'm here with Romance Girl, Green Stego,
Hello.
and Sally Bug. Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Welcome. Hello.
It's good to hear everybody's voices this strange time during the week. Well, the truth is, we're all kind of busy again. The summer, end of the summer, and as most of us being educators, we are back on the grind. And so it's going to be a challenge, but I feel like it's better for the podcast because we're living up to the name more. We're definitely going to be approaching things from a limited time, casual standpoint. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
back into that casual perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But let us not...
casual perspective.
Yes. No phonies allowed. You have to be casual or you're out of here. But let us
here's
not...
the deal, you know? Life gets busy, and do you really want that to get in the way of the season of Plunder?
No. And I was just about to say,
not.
let's not let it detract from the hype that we've all experienced after the showcase. And double whammy, not only did we have the showcase, the big reveal, which was actually preceded by interesting sort of presentation of various artwork, and then followed up by, which I didn't stick around for the entire D Flawless after show, but it sounds like Stego, you watched pretty much that, most of that, right?
We watched a breakdown.
All right. Breakdown.
Oh, no, we haven't. We didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah. But anyway, let's, I put up a few highlights and topics based on the Lightfall reveal, or the showcase, as it were. And let's start with overall reaction before we get into the granular details. Overall reaction, Romance Girl, what was your overall reaction to the showcase?
Great. Awesome.
Did it meet expectations?
I say it exceeded expectations, and also it completely threw me. Like, I had no idea that was coming. I was just blown away. I actually laughed out loud when I saw Strand for the first time, because I was just so shocked that was what was happening next in the Destiny universe. In
That
like a good way.
Might have been their best kept secret so far.
Right?
Absolutely.
Everyone was thinking like maybe we would get a necrotic grasps thorn type
Poison.
Right, yes,
darkness
Strego.
Strego?
Osteostriga.
Osteostriga. I'm tired.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, something like that, though. We all thought it was going to be something similar to that. And you know, like all of the environments that we've been getting, that new, like, Neptune, had no idea. Yeah, like a futuristic
cyberpunk city.
Atlantis punk. It's like amazing.
Yeah, I just can't wait to jump in.
I just realized I spelled it wrong on the slide.
You spelled it right. It's just one word.
It's one word, right? Neomuna. Yeah, it's got a definite sort of gem cartoon 80s feel to it. And I'm looking forward to it, for sure. Before we went live, we were talking with Green Stego a little bit about the new characters they're introducing, namely the Shadow Legion, the Tormentors, and Cloud Striders. Very interesting. It's been a while since we've gotten a new enemy or a new ally/enemy in the game. So that's exciting for me, anyway, personally. Although...
Oh, well, I'm excited too.
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of rumblings going on between Twitter and Reddit and all that and speculation about these new people. I saw them tying in, I think the Cloud Striders are very advanced technology types. They're techies, and they might have something to do with the fish like puka that we saw with the Stranger in the trailer for Beyond Light.
Right.
So I think that's going to come into play.
That's exciting.
Yes, there's.
So does that like imply that the Stranger's been there?
Oh yeah, she's been everywhere.
Yeah, she's been on not just everywhere. She's like Osiris. She's been through all the different timelines too.
It has told us nothing.
She's been telling us a lot
what
about
she's needed to tell us.
Yeah,
that's true.
Her psychotic fanfic alt you, which we have no way of authenticating. The hype is so real. I am so excited for the Shadow Legion. I'm so excited for the enhanced enemy density that they've described for the new campaign of Lightfall. I still feel like the Witch Queen campaign is fresh, and by the time I'm gonna be like done with it, it's gonna be time for Lightfall campaign.
Right. Right.
I'm excited. I'm hype. While we're talking about characters, though, somebody who I recently just kind of had like, I don't know, an epiphany of like we didn't see them was Xivu Arath. So that's still a character I would be surprised if we didn't end up facing Xivu Arath at some point, but maybe that's just still in the pipeline. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, do we have another season after this before Lightfall? I think we do.
Mm-hmm.
So
we got
that
one that
could
starts
be
in like for the Dawning, basically. The Dawning is like kicking off a new season.
We're not done with Savathun.
She's dead. Sorry, spoilers.
Her ghost is not. So yeah. I mean, just all right. Who was surprised about the whole spider thing? Like, I did not see that coming at
Spider-Man? All. Yeah, I said Strand.
No, not Strand and Spider-Man. Spider.
Plunder.
Oh, you're out of Lightfall and into season
really
of the Plunder.
Ahead.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about half of what was shown.
It's
okay.
It's the podcast equivalent of cutting in line.
We're talking about characters.
No,
I started it.
No, we have an agenda and we need to stick to.
We have a non-linear agenda that can go anywhere. So Yeah, Spider was a surprise for me. I kind of wish he had stayed in that pod that he was imprisoned in.
I wish he had stayed in the content vault.
Whoa! Hello.
No, I mean, it is a little difficult working with him after we're gotten so close with Crow and Glint.
Yeah. There's a little bit of resentment there, isn't there? And he has...
There's a lot on my part.
But he's an amazing character in the sense that he doesn't realize how screwed he is. We have the upper hand completely, and he's still acting like he's boss, you know? Very strange fella.
Yeah.
That Spider.
Quite full of himself.
Indeed. Well, in addition to the content reveal, there were some game mechanic changes, some mechanics in the game that are being changed or new mechanics being introduced. And one of the big ones is no more vaulting of content, which I was surprised that was on the table. And I'm immediately thinking in my head, one, why the change of heart? And two, how am I going? I'm going to have to buy another external drive.
They, I mean, in
I think
talking,
they said expansions, right? Not all content. So seasonal content.
seasonal content will still go away, but they mentioned something about doing something to the engine.
Yeah, they said they've been working behind the scenes to try to keep up with capacity.
Yeah, honestly, my thought was part of the reason that the old locations were vaulted was because that they were more or less incompatible with their new game engine that they had worked on, because those locations were developed years ago before alongside Taken King, basically. And so I was surprised that Nessus wasn't headed for the content vault or the EDZ. So I'm surprised at how it was that they were able to behind the scenes tune those up so that they were compatible. I don't know.
Yeah, I was.
Can you
thinking
tell
the
that I'm
same
not
thing.
a game dev?
Oh, yeah. I think our stream is completely messed up again, but that's okay. We'll do the audio podcast.
Just go with it.
Sure, because it's interesting to hear your perspective on these things. And I was just going to briefly look up something on Bungie.net to see what their wording of that was.
What the Destiny content vault?
Yeah.
Or the removal of content.
That's not how they worded it, I guarantee you.
It's like a double removal. No, I know that. That's not how they worded it. It's how I'm wording it.
This is how it's worded. This is how Bungie worded it. No more expansion sunsetting. It's always tough having to say goodbye to previous campaigns when they moved into the Destiny content vault. Even if you didn't play them often yourselves, it made it more difficult to get your friends caught up on what happened with the major yearly beats in Destiny 2.
What would have been the expansion? They would have, if they were going to do that, if they were going to sunset, the next one to be sunsetted would have been Shadowkeep, right?
I'm kind of confused, to be honest, because they added they added another paragraph here. Seasonal content will continue to stay throughout the current expansion year. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I get it now. The seasonal content, it's just what Romance Girl said. The seasonal content goes away. Or one of you said it. The seasonal content.
So they did But like they sunset the Red War, and they're saying we won't sunset campaign.
Right. Which is
Anymore.
nice because Shadowkeep will stick around.
They sunset Red War and then they sunset Beyond. Not Beyond Light.
Forsaken.
Forsaken, yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people upset
It
about
would
that
be
one
nice
just
if there
because
was
it was a good one.
condensed version of those campaigns in the game,
Right.
or some kind of better catch-up campaign. Shadowkeep is a strange starting point.
Yeah, it is. And Neil and I talk about it every time like we load into one of those Nessus or EDZ strikes, one of the older ones. Like from the original Destiny 2 vanilla, and Cade is still in the dialogue. And it's like, if you're a new player,
It's confusing.
it's like, who is this? And who's talking? And
Some of that there's no getting around, though. I mean, it's just so much
I think
history.
there is, because there's some dialogue in there that it just, the dialogue doesn't necessarily have to be there. You
Yeah,
could
you
just
were saying
have-
just get rid of it. Just don't
just
have
put
any
a sen-
dialogue
just
there,
put-
right?
Don't put either make it silent or put a musical thing.
You know what I would like?
Maybe it's hard, again, we're not game developers, so maybe it's harder just to remove the dialogue.
And here's the deal. I'm going to piggyback off that. I know we're not game developers, but I do have an idea. I think I've said this before, but basically like using pyramid technology, or like maybe a nightmare hunt type thing, where it's like we play a slice of like the Red War as like a new light experience, somehow reliving it through either like a meditation.
So like a condensed version of the previous campaigns.
I think
Yeah.
didn't they do something like that
Just,
before? Didn't Ikora have like memory or like these meditation
like meditation memories
campaigns?
So
yeah.
I would be okay, and like it's important to me that it's okay with me,
About
I would
the
be okay with it.
dialogue, though, I think that you also have to weigh taking stuff out to appease to new lights. Does it detract from veterans' enjoyment of the game?
Right.
It's something to weigh.
Right.
It is
I mean, it
emotional
doesn't
when you do
bother
like
me.
a strike that
Right,
has Kate's voice.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me that much, except that it just feels like there's the continuity piece of of the story. But if you look at it in terms of, okay, we're just reliving a memory, because when you redo a strike, that's kind of what you're doing. You're just repeating a memory of something that you've done in the past. You look at it that way, then I guess it makes sense that it would still be there. So, I'm all right. Yeah. It doesn't bother me
They
so
are
much.
doing a lot of good things to onboard new lights, though, from what we saw.
Oh, the
In-game
new
LFG.
system?
In-game LFG is a big one.
Right. Not to mention the ranking system where you like rank up, it's like a knowledge thing. Now do this, learn this set of systems, how that works. And then you get to another level and then you learn that set of systems and so forth. So it kind of it's like overhauling the whole new
I
light
love
system.
the Guardian ranks.
So yeah,
I think it's a good idea.
I think that's great.
I've been thinking that for a while, where like Triumph score doesn't really capture anything and it gets reset.
Right. And I felt like the ranking
no one's
system.
looking at your Triumph score, but I think this Guardian rank system is a good way to just like incorporate the core of Destiny and mark how far along you are in your Destiny journey.
And it feels a little more linear. Like the triumphs are all over the place. Like you don't like necessarily.
Yeah, no, they have grown out of control. There's
right.
too many triumphs.
There's too many, and I mean, I look at triumphs almost like I look at like achievements on the Xbox, right? It just kind of like every now and again it just happens. And it's like, oh, you just got a triumph,
it's
right?
Almost
Rather
at
than
a point where like when it pops up at the bottom, and it's just a triumph and not a seasonal challenge, there's a part of me that's like a little disappointed.
That's funny.
Yeah, seasonal challenges really have overshadowed triumphs.
The new system really does look more linear and understanding.
On, the commendations.
Oh, that's so good.
I like that too, right? It's just, I think hopefully for most people, they'll have, they'll just think twice about doing things like running ahead, speeding ahead,
it's positive
in a dungeon
for being a helpful guardian.
And we have clanmates who get, who regularly like do LFG and carries through raids, and I love that this is a way for them to get a little get recognized.
Recognition for the heroes in the community.
It's more than just hopping in the chat.
It's such a big part of Destiny is the Sherpas and the
and there's so many of them, not just not just the content creator ones. Right?
Yeah. No,
there are plenty of people out there who do it and aren't
our clanmates. Yeah,
exactly.
Did you guys notice that it was all positive, that you couldn't leave negative?
Yes, so it's
like positive. The only negative thing you could do is just not, give them a commendation.
You could report them.
So
if it gets to that level, but you can't.
Right.
I do like that they're going in a positive direction. I think it'll build a good culture.
I don't know. I feel like they're trailblazing a little bit here. I don't play many other multiplayer games like this, honestly. But it seems like nobody's really has this sort of system. We'll see how it works.
I know that Halo back in the day, so I'm sure it still has some kind of system, did have something where you could there was a way to report a player, but there was also nice things you could say about the player, but it was very clunky and there wasn't any way to express this player has gotten a bunch of good feedback there. So I think the way that they're implementing it and it being in it seems like they're highlighting it,
It looks like there's even potentially some ornaments or shaders or things where it will be kind of obvious
title or way to show off some signifiers. Certainly guardian rank is going to be
do you think there's going to be some loot involved, if you build up enough commendations? You get a
player for sure,
like a emblem or something. Yeah, cool.
Yes.
There will definitely be some flair that they can show off.
I think that there will be some nodes or rewards in your Guardian level.
What do you think about the LFG? Do you think you'll actually dive into it and try it out?
Me? I mean, I feel like they will make some Guardian rank quests associated with it. So I might do it for that. But
you brought up when you said they make a Guardian rank quest, it reminded me of the brief look I saw, the brief look at it. It looked really cool. It was for the new lights for new players, following a very linear path to get them to learn each mechanic of the game. It looked so cool. I wish we had that.
I hope they stick with that UI, because that really...
Didn't it look good? It looked so clean and simple and easy to follow. right?
Right. And
Right. What do I do next? I've learned this.
Right
now what?
in my game. Yes.
Because they realize that the population's growing old. I mean, you people who were in college now have families. When they started D1, they were in college, right? And now they have families. It's a growing population. So we've got to start recruiting. And the game is so complex now and has so much history behind it.
It is.
They have to do something like this to get people on board. I do
hope they do more to streamline, because I don't think streamlining is necessarily like a bad thing to simplify some of these systems. But I think the direction they're going is perfect.
Right. I mean, as always, they could always do with less currencies.
Yeah, less.
It's like every new.
I don't even mind the currencies as much as like the powerful gear. When I sign in and there's just a bunch of glowing things on every location, and I'm like, where would I start? I know what each of these glowing things means. I can't imagine for someone who doesn't know. For a while, like I had like 10 Witch Queen insignias next to the throne world every time I would sign in. I eventually worked them down, but it's like that's a lot.
It's a lot. Where do you start?
I think I still have Witch Queen insignias all over the place.
I mean, we spent a couple days in the summer just like banging some Witch Queen stuff out, and it's just so much. And it feels strange. I mean, that I guess the casual is showing to complain that there's too much going on.
Yeah, but it's also like remember holding the left trigger brings up your like milestones, except that doesn't do anything anymore, except sometimes it does. It tells you like you have to go down.
The systems could be streamlined.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope we get to a point in Destiny where we don't have powerful gear anymore. Can just level up through seasonal challenges.
Yeah, I think that's like a big part of what they're doing with this whole like UI, basically player experience overhaul / series of tweaks, where they just want to like make it more linear for the people who need that linearity.
Yeah,
for the gameplay experience.
It'd be nice if we can get to that slot leveling eventually.
Yeah, well, beyond slot leveling, I'm fatigued by individual gear leveling.
Right.
It's RNG.
Like
the RNG element to it can be great and very transparent, or rather, you just don't know what's going on, or it can be a terrible experience. Like, oh my gosh!
It's just like, take out the randomness of it.
Especially if you're a casual player,
If you are getting a +1 piece of gear, then get it in the slot that you need it in, not one.
It also just if you imagine that there's no power attached to gear, you could get rid of like
just get the gear.
Legendary and blue system of leveling up gear. Like that's just it's not a fun part of Destiny.
Yeah, putting the number beside it rather than just getting the gear and looking at the numbers, the statistics of it on,
Yes, just focus on the armor itself, and your power level is something completely.
Exactly. And same with the guns, just looking at its perks and its statistics.
My casual might be showing, and there might be people who prefer the system we have now, but and I can definitely see the pros of it, because there's not a lot of reasons to grind these activities if they're not, making you more powerful, which is historically in this type of game.
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily, there's plenty of people who like get to that top level very fast, but they also have issues with people who want to skip a season or two and come back, and they're not able to do the Grandmaster with their friends.
Yeah, it seems really like
That seems
and for
punishing.
us, and even those of us who don't like keep up some of your items, it does seem like unnecessarily tedious. Where I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to try this Iron Banner weapon I got. It's Season of Arrivals, and so it's like its light level is completely useless.
This is
So
such
I need to.
quintessential Destiny
You have to
players like
infuse.
going on about complaining. After they've given us a
with that being said, what did you think about that treasure chest? What was it called that they
Gift
gave
of the
everyone?
Thunder Gods.
Yes.
Gift
I
of
haven't
the
picked
Thunder
mine up
Gods.
yet, but I do think that's a step in the right direction. I think
It's
it's
a
a
step in
bit of
the
a band-aid. And actually, I think there should be more sources for mods too.
Right. I mean, why wouldn't you just put everybody up to? I mean, it's nice because you're giving some players like access to some exotics and to some mods and things like that. Like it's a nice way to get everybody up to 1570. Is that what it is
Yes.
now? Oh my
Yeah,
god,
that's
that sounds crazy. Anyway, get everyone up to 1570 and get some mods that they may not have had access to.
And the gear's leveled up to 8 too, or the armor's up to level 8. And
yeah,
So you
right.
can put a little more
because
into
you may
it.
not have all the resources to get it to the next level.
Exactly. I think they need to do. I think that they're thinking from the right perspective of
right.
someone.
I think that's a step in the right direction for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was cool.
Right.
It really helped my alt characters. I went right
Because
in
it-
there and
you
boom,
know-
boom, boom. I'm 1570 on my Titan now, you know?
Really is a system where the rich get richer, right? Because I watch content creators and they play the game for a living, and they'll go into their inventory and have like stacks upon stacks of prisms and ascendant shards. And
They should for the amount they.
they should for the amount that they play. But then, it's just like masterworking a piece of armor or masterworking several, several sets of armor isn't an issue. But for a new light player, it's gonna be.
I'd like to remove the ambiguity. I don't know how many sets I'm supposed to masterwork or how much they expect me. Like, am I supposed to use up all my materials as I get them? Should I save them?
Well, I think
I never gauge how quickly I'm going to accumulate these materials. So how fast should I be spending them? I guess that's in any video game. There's a balance to that, but I still
I haven't figured it out.
Because what happens is they get new gear and they like the look of it, and so then they're going to keep that. Then we've got
That's
a
what Ada's
system
for
now, so you get that. You
exactly.
So
it's evolving. It's always
with the transmog system, like you really, in my opinion, you really only need, and the fact that you can change the elemental element of your gear, pretty easily now. Like it's not super expensive. What is it, like 10,000 glimmer and a upgrade module to change its affinity, something like that. So with that, like for a super casual player, like I've contemplated. I haven't done it yet, but I've contemplated saying, hey, why don't I just have like one set of gear with all the stats that with stats that I kind of like, or 2 or 3 sets of gear with different like variations of stats. Like a mobility one and a resilience
one. They want
one.
to encourage build crafting and accumulating more than one set of gears that can lead into different play styles, which isn't really my thing. It's more Green Stego's
end game type of thing too, right? It's keeping players engaged in the game. Doing other things.
Speaking of, what did you think of the in-game loadouts and mod manager?
Oh, I'm so excited about that. One of the things that I was wondering about was about elemental affinity, and how that's going to be incorporated in there, and how easily they are going to
will there be strand armor?
I was thinking there would be strand armor and strand mods, but moreover, I was thinking, are they still going to even have the elemental affinity for armor through their loadout page. Like maybe they found a way around it.
Maybe they found a way to streamline that part of it. That would be
either
nice.
it would definitely make it easier, wouldn't it?
It would.
If they got rid of it.
That's an element that always just does my head in. It's like,
I know the elemental affinity of gear just is like, well, I'll go and like go to a content creator, say, oh, try this loadout, and it's like, oh, you need an arc helmet, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's also like you need.
And it's like it is easy to switch it, but it's also like I don't want to keep
switching it.
Right, you don't want to keep switching.
Every
it's
time
like,
you have
oh,
to
I
take
just
off all
switched
the
that
mods.
one. Right, exactly.
But I think that this will make it easier, the in-game loadout.
Mm-hmm.
And Dim has come a long way with this as well, but just there will be something about having your favorite loadouts in-game.
Right. Well, I got to tell you, it's like, as much as I love Dim and still most of the time don't play the game without it, I've more and more like just want to play the game, right? Like there's time, and now that I'm getting back into work, it's like, okay, I've got 30, 45 minutes to play, and spending 20 minutes organizing stuff on Dim is not how I want to play the game, right? I just want to get in and play. So
when I logged in to play Season of Plunder, and I realized that I had last been on one of my alts, and I didn't have like my preferred weapons on me.
Yep.
And Dim was down. I just had to roll. I literally loaded up with double special.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And I only had like one primary weapon in
Sultime and I went down. And it's like, okay,
Dim's still wonky.
Like this is how far beyond this is how casual we actually are. We're still trying to do some Beyond Light, like getting like a Beyond Light triumph that we're working on with the transponder thing.
Cloud Strike.
I just unlocked stasis on my warlock, and I still have yet to unlock the fragments of the stasis subclass on my warlock.
And so we
Same
just
for
like
my
plopped in. It's like, okay, we've got like 30 minutes before dinner. Let's just go down and do this one thing. And so we don't even go to the tower. We don't do anything. We don't get on Dim or anything. And we go down there, and Sultime's like, I don't have any power weapons. All my power weapons are grayed out because they've like
they're grenade launchers.
They were all grenade launchers. Like he had all grenade launchers. It's like I just have to go without power weapons.
I had like 3 Typhon GL5s.
I mean, fortunately, what we had to do didn't actually require.
The grenade launchers were bugged out and had to be disabled in game as a early bug.
Yep. So that was an interesting. Well, I mean, fortunately, we didn't have to do it. I mean, it was not like there was any heavy lifting that we had to do in this quest that we were working on, but it was kind of funny. He's like, I don't have any heavy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Dim's not going anywhere. Like Dim's a personal companion.
No,
to me.
These and
Dim is like my real life ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think that they'll actually work really well together with each other.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it, and I think it'll make Dim even better. That's my prediction on it.
Right?
Yeah,
but
It'll free Dim up to do some other things.
100%
is the orange Dim logo supposed to be a ghost? Because I feel like I'm seeing a ghost now for the first time.
Well, it is diamond shaped, right?
It kind of looks like a ghost to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought it was a ghost.
I never thought of it as a ghost until this very moment. So love you, Dim.
We've already hit upon it. I just realized there was a TWAB today, so I just looked it over briefly. But there's nothing too new. It's mostly about the King's Fall, world's first thing starting tomorrow morning. Actually, right, 10 a.m.
Oh,
Is it tomorrow or is it
crazy.
Saturday?
Nope, it's tomorrow.
Oh, I think that's right because
It's the
people were a
26th.
people
People
at the fact that it
People were
wasn't.
surprised. Yeah,
wasn't
that it
on
wasn't
a
on a Saturday.
weekend.
People were making a big deal about how the big day is going to be on a Friday.
Right.
And
Right.
we're like, oh
Um,
no, now I won't be able to take the day off.
Oh, I got an email from Bungie. It said my D1 Kingsfall first complete was January 18th, 2016.
Wow.
I'm
Total
checking my
clears was
email
six.
now.
How many?
Clears.
6?
Six. I feel like we attempted it way more than six.
It's like I feel like we
How many
played that
times did we
so
attempt
much.
No, wait,
And to say we
accurate.
only had 6 clears, it's kind of funny, actually.
That is
January.
proportional to the number of nightmares I've had of Oryx.
I just got mine. January 18th, 2016 was my first complete.
Yeah.
9 total clears.
Oh, 3 more than me.
3 new
And
carries.
221 Touch of Malice final blows. And I
Mine's-
earned my Touch of Malice September 7th. That's 9 months later.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Mine was January 18th. So that's everybody. Was that all of us, our clan?
Yeah, that was
I think we did it with Funny Bone and Pickle.
Chromatic.
Chromatic. Yeah.
Chromatic.
And
Yay, Pickle.
Sally Bug, how many Touch of Malice final blows did you get?
237.
Oh, that's casual.
Yeah.
Well, slightly more
Super
than
cash.
However,
I didn't get
I
it
have
until late.
10 total clears.
Oh, yeah. You
And
did one extra
6
with
new
with
carries.
Richard and
because
Pelham.
that is how we met them.
Yeah.
Was through them accosting me in the tower and asking if
Brutal.
That is brutal.
no,
That's
not a
horrible language.
They found me in the
Trigger
tower
warning for
and
the
said-
listeners.
And said, "Do you want to? Would you do Kingsfall with us?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure you really know if you really want me, but I'll do it if you want me to."
Like,
We just need someone to stay on the plate.
It would be absolutely fine as long as if I didn't have to do the tomb chip jumping.
do you have any
Okay.
idea who you're talking to? Are you talking to me?
What was everyone's thoughts on the pirate theme?
I kind of like
like
it.
it.
It's just mindless, good old fashioned fun, and I really,
It's exactly
I'm
exactly what we need right now.
I'm going to express some sincere disappointment though, and it's not with the game, it's not with Bungie, far from it. It's with some content creators. I have a real bone to pick. Bungie has provided the perfect opportunity with these little clues. I forget what they're called now. They give you a little mini quest to go find a relic, right? And the location is buried in a pirate riddle. And they're written in pirate language, and all these content creators that are talking about it and showing you where you need to go are reading it in their own voice.
I was going to say, do not tell me they're not doing the pirate
They're not
voice.
doing the pirate voices, and Bungie has given them
They've given them gold.
gift. I know they could double their subscribers, right?
They're just
What an absolutely bizarre crossover for them to be theatrical and want to be the center, take center stage so much so that they record themselves.
I've
They
unsubbed
pick and
2 of
choose
them.
when,
but
they
not
don't
step
want
up to the plate. Yeah.
Yeah, but not step up to not want to.
Green
a
Stecco
pirate.
was very excited when he saw the title for this season.
I think it's a slap in the face of the writers at Bungie to not use your pirate voice when reading those.
Maybe.
Will
They were
anybody be
so
talking
excited about
the
it.
title?
Yeah. I like the whole theme, personally.
Pollywag.
I really do. I like everything about it so far. I like the activity. The 6-man activity is fun. I'm looking forward to doing the challenging version of it. And then the Fire Team of 3 activity is fun too. That's great. It's another escorting a vehicle. And that's why I was saying at the beginning, I wish Spider had stayed in that containment, and that was what we were carting from one place to another. And you could hear him inside like, let me out, you know, while you're escorting him along.
It's too much.
Hold him hostage.
Yeah.
He drip feeds us information.
Right. That would have been more fun.
We'll let you out if
evil,
you can give us some more information.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Funny. That's funny.
Was anyone able to go to the jukebox?
No.
I heard it.
I heard it.
Go to it.
But I haven't gone to it yet.
It's kind of fun.
I'm still doing.
Is it the same songs?
No, it's just like some futuristic instrumentals.
Oh, all right.
Some of you may have noticed I removed the loadouts as a section, figuring we'll just kind of make it a little more casual, if you will. But has anybody tried the new exotic, which is a fusion rifle? The Delicate Tomb.
Oh, just a little bit in the pirate activity. One of the pirate activities I was using it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
Make sure you pick up your quest from Banshee.
I used it a little bit,
catalyst.
but I didn't read actually how to use it and realize I should be hip firing it most of the time.
Yeah, no, I forgot a couple times, but
yeah.
You do want to be. You got to remember, like, how would a pirate shoot it?
Yeah.
You know, at the hip.
Well, I think that about does it for me, unless anybody has anything to add before we go into our non-Destiny shares.
I do want to verify that, yes, indeed, I am excited about the Scallywag title, and I will be trying my darndest making sure that I am indeed a Scallywag by the end of the season.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a challenge in and of itself.
It's going to be hard. Well, wait.
Well, you have you have till the end of next season.
Right.
That's true.
Right, because
that is true. That is true.
We just got risen, right, Neil?
Oh,
so.
Oh, that's so true. But here's the deal.
I'm glad they extended those.
But I do have to say this.
Never been more excited to get a title, but
Stego,
let's face it.
You reminded me of my focus. This isn't my loadout necessarily, but it's my focus right now with the limited time that I have. I think my focus, and I learned this from last season, is to level up. To try to get at least a carry through a Grandmaster before the season is over. And to level, I didn't level up last time.
I'm guilty of not focusing on the
right.
Like I said, I get it over.
Leveling up, doing the
delicate. Oh, we're getting some interference in the chat. Richard O'Neill says that he likes Delicate Tomb.
Well, that's because he is a Delicate Tomb.
That's the new exotic fusion rifle.
About. Oh. See, I am a casual.
But did you think Delicate Tomb was a new Netflix series?
I also spent some time.
I knew it was the name of the weapon. I just forgot it was the fusion rifle we were talking about.
It's good to see Richard in the chat. We're kind of wrapping it up here, Richard, but I got to say to you, Sandman.
Oh, right. You see, now you're.
I'm jumping the gun. Let's
jumping the gun.
Let's roll the clip. Non-Destiny media consumption. Sandman is amazing. Oh my god.
So good.
So good.
It lives up to all of my expectations.
And Sally Bug, you have a little public service announcement for Sandman. You saw a tweet from Neil Gaiman, right?
Yeah, he put something out about, like, just make sure that if you've watched it, to rate it, because they're still in negotiations with Netflix too, because it's a Netflix original, and they're the ones fronting the bill, and they haven't committed to a second season yet. But like it needs to kind of stay in the top. Their how like they have their top 10.
Yeah.
That if it stays in the top 10 long enough, that they'll pick up another season. So
start it before you go to sleep and let it play overnight.
Make sure you rank it. It's really.
I wish these deals weren't so contentious with creators.
It's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
What if I handwrite a letter to Netflix saying that if it doesn't
in crayon,
I'll cancel my subscription?
Of the podcast.
He was just saying how it's just very, very. It's an expensive because they do it right.
The special effects are really expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotten nothing but I've only heard good things.
Right. Yeah. So, I can understand Netflix's hesitancy because that's a large chunk of money. But I want a season 2. So, we're only like 2 or 3 episodes into the first one. So, but so good.
Seen it with the way you were going to bat for it.
Yeah.
I don't need to see any more. I know it's that great. So. I'm trying to drip feed it well, and plus I've started back work, so
yeah.
So I'm hoping that we'll all play enough between in the next week and a half, not quite, before our next podcast, we'll be able to talk more about using Arc 3.0, using the weapons. There's so much to talk about, really.
And hopefully Ghost will join us and talk about his run through King's Fall, because I know he's planning on going in
from this Saturday.
Some other clan mates.
Yeah.
And do King's Fall.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Yeah, I'm hoping one of them, like maybe Logan or somebody, can stream it, or who,
Yeah.
I don't know if they have that capability. I'd love to watch them play. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. That would be.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to hear from Stego and Romance about their non-Destiny media consumption as of late before we say goodnight and go to sleep.
Well, I've been playing a few video games, but one that really stuck out, I noticed it was leaving Game Pass, so I wanted to try it, was What Remains of Edith Finch.
Interesting.
And, it was very, very interesting. It's more of like an interactive storytelling experience. It's very narrative. And it's in first person, and you're basically revisiting an old family home and learning about the family mythology, and specifically how each of these family members died in an untimely way.
I was just gonna. It had to have that, right? It's got to be a little bit mystery / horror type.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
it's just,
nice.
And the environment
good for Halloween
that they made for this are just so amazing, and I hope that more video games get made that are like this, because it's just such an interesting experience. I really enjoyed it.
I queued the trailer
I'm with
up.
you, Soul Time. It sounds like a
I just queued the trailer up. I'll watch it after the podcast.
It sounds like a great Halloween game to pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Stego, you've been setting up your classroom. Yeah, we don't have much time for non-Destiny.
Trying to manage unruly kids.
Right.
Yeah, we're almost done with week 2. I will say, we started reading today. We did read aloud, and so my media is a book. We started reading The Phantom Toll Booth.
Oh,
nice.
Cool. Nice.
It's a great book to read with that age.
The kids loved storing time.
That's awesome. That's cool.
You know, all during the day, during recess, they want to play it cool, and they want to like see how much cussing and whatever they can get away with outside of. Like, oh, let's go to the far side of the playground where they can't hear us cuss at each other. You know, like. But then it's story time, and it's great, and we love it.
That's awesome.
That is cool. That's good to hear. So,
yeah,
Phantom Tollbooth, everybody, if you haven't read it.
Not done enough in classrooms, especially
in
the older ones.
Yeah.
Right, in older classrooms, just read aloud because the kids really do. I mean, they appreciate reading by listening to someone else read. So.
Yep, absolutely.
I had it up on the projector because it's illustrated. Oh, it's great.
Oh, perfect.
Awesome.
All right. So obviously, because we started Sandman, we finished Stranger Things. So.
Yep.
So good.
Ready for season 5.
Getting all
for
that
season
Netflix.
5. And as usual, you know, still dabbling in my law tube, but I can recommend a series. I don't know if we talked about this before. I think we did because we were talking about Lizzie Borden. Law and Lumber channel, and they do trials of the century and pick up all these different trials that are like pretty famous and kind of pick it apart and talk about it.
Oh, that's right. I heard that as I was going to sleep.
They have a historian that goes on and comes on and talks about like kind of the history of it and like the time frame and what was going on during the time, and then the lawyers that come on and give kind of the law perspective. They're done really well. So
yeah, super
another
interesting.
shout out to that series especially.
That's on YouTube. All right.
Yep.
I think
they have great, the storyteller especially has a really nice voice, so we tend to put it on when we're getting ready to settle down for the night.
Yeah.
Speaking of settling down for the night.
Ghost just said school should implement Destiny lore reading. I love it.
You know, it's not a bad idea.
I might actually, we have some of the Grimoire. I might take them in and just try it out and see if they like it.
Yeah, just try it. It's great.
Read about the hive for Halloween or something.
We've got the books, Neil.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
The first 2 volumes.
Just bring them in. I think
some of the stuff about like from Savathun, but like maybe you don't know about, like it's not clear that it's from Savathun. Like talk about like perspective, like who is actually like.
Oh my gosh, there's so much you could learn, like especially like in a middle school class too, like with voice and narrative and things.
All the different
could
voices
easily
and
make a university course on Destiny lore.
No doubt.
By now. Yeah.
No doubt. I mean, the writing is just probably one of the most quality things about the game is that the lore writing. It's pretty amazing. And the influences and just doing the deep dives into why are they using this name? Oh, well, this is a Hindu goddess of fire or whatever, you know? And it's so good. It's definitely college level for sure. All right, I am going to call it and thank everybody for coming along here, listening to us on whatever platform. And join us live YouTube every other Saturday. Generally, this is an off night because of the start of the school year for us. Usually like to start around 8 p.m., but to keep with our erratic schedule, it wouldn't hurt to subscribe to the YouTube or follow us on Twitter or whatever. Until next time, it's goodbye from all of us here at the Paracasual Destiny Podcast. Keep looking up, y'all.
Arr.
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 Yar.
Yeah, come on, Ivantis. Use a freaking pirate voice when you're reading that stuff.
She blows.